Assalamu alaikum. My name is Farman, student of the Department of MLT, semester 8, and today our discussion topic is parasitology. The presentation outlines are parasitology, introduction, classification, subclassification, major division, terminology, and differences. Now talk about the parasitology. Parasitology is the branch of microbiology that is concerned with the study of parasites. Simply we said parasitology is the study of parasites. What is parasite? A parasite is an organism that lives on or in a host organism and gets its food from or at the expense of its host. So parasites are the microorganisms which live or on the host organism, and they get their all essential nutrient and food from the host. Here is a diagram which shows different types of parasites. Now we talk about the classification of parasites. Classification of parasites are based on many aspects. First of all, we describe cell-based classification of parasites. On cell count base, parasite is of two types. Number one, single cell parasites, which are commonly known as protozoans, and number two, multicellular parasites, which are commonly known as metazoans. Protozoan classification. Protozoans are classified into four more types. Number one, Sarcodina. Number two, Mastigophora. Number three, Protozoa. Number four, Ciliata. Sarcodina are commonly known as amoeba. Mastigophora are commonly known as flagellates. Sporozoa are commonly known as sporozoan, and Ciliata is commonly known as ciliates. Sarcodina moves through the pseudopores and walks like a crowd. So if we talk about the movement of Sarcodina, they move through pseudopores, which are microscopic structures, and they walk like a crawling. Mastigophora have flagella for their locomotion. So flagella are also microscopic elongated structures which are present on the body of Mastigophora, and the Mastigophora move through the flagella. Protozoans are able to move but remain at one place. So their movement is about their location where they live. They only vibrate on their spot. Ciliata moves with the help of cilia. Cilia are also microscopic thread-like structures which are present on the ciliate's body, and they move through cilia. Metazoan classification. Metazoan is divided into two phyla. Number one, platyhelminths. Number two, nematohelminths. Platyhelminths are commonly known as flatworms, and nematohelminths are commonly known as roundworms or nematodes. If we talk about the platyhelminths are invertebrates, elongated and flat bodies. The word platyhelminths are derived from Greek word which means flat. So due to their flat structure, they are called platyhelminths. If we talk about the nematohelminths, they belong to the phylum Nematoda, round in shape, and these parasites drive their nutrients from host and cause infection. Platyhelminths is again divided into medically important class, cystodes and trematodes. If we talk about the cystodes are tapeworms. They commonly live in GIT, gastrointestinal tract, and long and flat in structures. Trematodes, commonly known as flukes, also called flukes, cause various clinical infections. Parasites are so named because of their conspicuous sucker attachment. Because they have a conspicuous sucker attachment, they are called fluke. This slide shows the schematic diagram of the classification of parasites. First of all, parasites are classified into two major classes. Number one, protozoa. Number two, metazoa. Then protozoa are then divided into four classes: Sarcodina, Sporozoa, Muscovifera, Ciliata. And metazoa is divided into two major classes: platyhelminths and metahelminths. And then platyhelminths are divided into two other classes: number one, Trematoda, and number two, Cystroda. Now we classified parasites on the basis of their anatomical position. On the basis of anatomical position, parasites are classified into three classes. Number one, intestinal parasite. Number two, urogenital parasite. Number three, tissue parasite. As the name suggested, intestinal parasites are those parasites which live within the intestinal tract of the host. Urogenital parasites are these parasites which live in the urinary system of the host. And tissue parasites are usually live in the tissues of the host organism. Number three, parasites are classified on the basis of inside or outside of the body of the host. It have two types. Number one, ectoparasite. Number two, endoparasite. So ectoparasites are those parasites which are living on the host body. They feed on the body fluid of the host. Aerobic respiration, they get their energy through aerobic respiration. Possess digestive system. Examples are leech, hagfishes, etc., etc. If we talk about the endoparasites, as the name suggested, endo means inside. These parasites living inside the host body, they feed semi-digested food of host, get their energy through anaerobic respiration, and doesn't possess digestive tract system. Examples are tapeworms and round worms, etc. Here is a slide which show different types of ectoparasites and endoparasites. As we know that ectoparasites are the parasites which living on the host body, and endoparasites are the parasites which living inside the host organism. The shapes are shown in the slide. Usually endoparasites are elongated, having elongated structure, and ectoparasites are round or tape-shaped. Number 4, now we classified the parasite on the basis of relation between host and parasite. They are classified into three classes. Number 1, obligate parasite. Number 2, facultative parasite. Number 3, accidental parasite. Obligate parasites are fully dependent on the host for specific stages of their life cycle or the entire length of their life. Example is Plasmodium. So obligate parasites are fully dependent on host for their different stages of life, especially life cycle. And facultative parasites are not entirely dependent on the host for survival. Example is Naegleria fowleri. Accidental parasites are also known as incidental parasites. These parasites attack an unusual host they do not normally parasitize. Unnatural host. Example is tapeworm and Hymenopsis diminuta. Here are some terminology which I use in my presentation topic. Number 1, trophozoites. Many trophozoites have life cycle consisting of trophozoite, which is the motile, feeding, reproducing form surrounded by a flexible cell membrane. Trophozoites refer to a growing stage of parasites that absorb nutrients from their host, and active stage of protozoan. They are motile, non-infectious, and oval in shape. They can also cause diseases but can't transmit, and the diameter of trophozoites are usually in between 50 to 130 micrometers. Number 2, cyst. A cyst which is non-motile, non-metabolizing, non-reproducing form surrounded by a thick wall. The cyst form survives well in the environment and so is often involved in transmission. Basically, cysts refer to the dormant stage of the protozoan. They are spherical in shape, non-motile, survive in unfavorable conditions. They can transmit diseases. Infectious have contractile vacuoles. They are infectious and having contractile vacuoles, and their diameter is lying between 40 to 60 micrometers. Number 3, life cycle. Many helminths have a life cycle that progresses from egg to larva to adult. The egg contains an embryo that, upon hatching, differentiate into a larval form, which then mature into the adult form, then produces the egg. As we know that life cycle is the complete cycle of any organism. If we talk about the parasites, especially helminths, so helminths are parasites having their life cycle starting from the egg, and then egg is converted to the larva, and then a larva is converted to the adult form. The slide shows the different terminology which we discussed in previous slide: cyst, larva, and adult. Number 4, definitive host. Host, as we know that hosts are of many types. So what is definitive host? A definitive host is the one in which the sexual cycle occurs or the adult is present. So these hosts have sexual life cycle. Intermediate host is also a type of host in which the asexual cycle occurs or the larva is present. So that doesn't contain sexual cycle. They rely on asexual cycle of their life. This slide provides us information about the transmission of parasitic infection. Sources for infectious transmission. There are different sources for the transmission of infection which is caused by the parasite. Number 1, zoonotic infection. Zoonotic infection. Number 2, food. Number 3, water. Number 4, blood. Number 5, insects. Basically, a zoonotic disease is a disease spread between animals and people. Food. Infections are transferable through these sources. This slide provides us information about the differences between protozoan and metazoan. Protozoan, cell cycle, single cell organism that can be free living. Protozoan are basically single cell organism that can be free living. They belong to the kingdom Protista, single cell, and perform all physiological activity. They are microscopic in size, showing no division of cell, produce identical gametes, classify into amoeba, ciliata, and flagella, etc. Permit severe infection. If we talk about the metazoan, metazoan comprises of major and multiple group of cells, belong to the kingdom Animalia, different cell, and also responsible for performing different physiological activities. Microscopic, they are generally macroscopic and generally seen through the naked eyes. Show division of cell, sexually differentiated gametes, classify into vertebrate and invertebrate. Thank you.